What's up, plant fam? What's going on? You know who I am. It's Steve with I Live Plants, and I'm so happy that you have returned for another video. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? So, we're going to talk. I have right here on this table two philodendrons. I have a philodendron McColley here. This is my McColley. And I have a philodendron Splendid, and I forgot what I named it. If I have the name, I'm gonna put it in the down here somewhere. All right. But anyway, the Philodendron Splendid, the Philodendron McColley, and the deal with these plants is that they might say philodendron, but these two mother effers could not be any different from each other in terms of care. And let's just say this: I love them unequally. All right. So stay tuned for some care tips for these two plants. Let's see which one's the easiest one to take care of. All right, you guys. So let's get into just some quick, visual facts about these plants, right? So first of all, my baby, Mama Cauley, right here, is a self-heading philodendron, which means that in order to support itself, it doesn't need a moss pole. It doesn't need a structure to sort of climb. This baby, she can support herself. And when she does, when she grows and she gives me new leaves, one of the reasons why I'm wearing this orange shirt is because when her leaves first appear, they are like a striking blood orange color, and I'm here for it. It's just beautiful glossy leaves at the end of the day. This plant is so reminiscent of, like, if you think Philodendron Prince of Orange, if you think Philodendron Sun Red or Red Sun, those plants look very, very, very similar to this McColley right here. Now, on the other hand, this Splendid, which, by the way, I don't have a name for it. Okay, so if you got a name for this Splendid, if you want to help me out naming this plant, probably one of the reasons why I didn't name it is because it gives me such a hard time. I'm just like, it, you're not even being named until you get your act right. Give me a name, drop it in the comments. All right. But anyway, this Splendid here is actually a vining plant. So it does need some sort of support structure, whether it was in the wild with trees, bark, or growing up a building or something like that. I have this one growing up a moss pole with actual moss in it. And the thing about these moss poles here is that you actually got to take care of the moss pole. You got to keep it moist and all that good stuff. But again, it definitely needs support in order to grow upward. Okay. Otherwise, it's just not going to grow right. And plus, this philodendron has like this velvety heart shaped leaf, you guys. I mean, the leaf, look, at the end of the day, the leaves on this philodendron are stunning. I mean, as you can see, the struggle is real. All right, you can see how I've been struggling with this plant because it's letting me know it's pushing its stress out that I've been giving it out in the leaf, and I haven't lost this one yet. This is one of my oldest leaves, and I actually just got this one not too long ago. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there, but it's been a struggle for me, I must say. All right, because this plant is finicky as hell. But at the end of the day, I'm beginning to understand its sort of feeding schedule, its watering schedule, and just what it needs to survive. All right. So let's get into it, right? What does it need? Let's talk about watering. So this plant here, this McColley, she's a big girl. All right. So I water my McColley probably every week. And the good thing about Mama Coley is that she is forgiving. She is very, very forgiving if I skip her or miss a couple of days in the in her watering schedule. All right. So again, with Mama, I can feel the leaves. Again, I'm trying to become the plant whisperer by just feeling the leaves, closing my eyes, and just listening to what they're telling me inside. Oh, you're not thirsty? Okay, yeah, yeah. She's good because I just watered her a couple of days ago, and as a matter of fact, if I can find some, they actually look. It looks like it's perspiring, right? Like it has what is it? Perspiration from on the tip of the leaves, and that's called gluttation. All right, it's just getting rid of any excess water, okay, that it can push out. Um, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, okay? It's just it doesn't need this much, so it's going to push it out by the tip of the leaves, and it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't mean anything. It's taking care of itself. So again, this girl here is forgiven. All right. So Mama Coley, she's the mother of the house right here, and she forgives her children, me, for maybe talking down to it or whatever. But she knows I love her just as I. All right. Humidity levels here, we're talking about ambient house humidity, 50%, 55%. Doesn't have to get any more than that because, again, it could withstand. It's a forgiving plant. It's an easier philodendron to take care of, so you don't have to buy any special humidifiers or anything like that to put this plant next to because it's going to do just fine with about 50% humidity. This chick, on the other hand, and why am I genderifying her right now? Guys could be pain in the asses too, right? Come on, ladies, let me hear you. Let me hear you say yeah on that one. Um, but anyway, this plant here, in terms of watering, I'm literally just beginning to understand the watering schedule. Now, two things. The mixes are vastly different. Okay, so the soil mixtures that each plant is in is different. This is in a more chunky mix, so the water goes right through. Okay, it doesn't hold on to moisture as much as this somewhat more dense mix that this McColley came in. All right, so a lot of orchid bark in this plant, a lot of perlite in this plant, a lot of maybe even pumice, maybe pumice. As a matter of fact, yeah, pumice is in this because I'm the one who repotted it. Pumice is in this as well. So these materials actually either absorb nutrients, which is good, but it actually flushes and makes sure that the water flushes out quickly. Okay, so comparison, right? Like I said, this one, in terms of water and humidity, very forgiving, easy. I water this plant once a week. She's good. If I get her in 10 days, she's good. This one, not so much, you guys. I mean, this Splendid likes to stay somewhat moist and a chunky mix. Go figure. If that's not the oxymoron of plant life, I don't know what is, okay? But I have to stay on top of the watering or she's not having it. She's going to crash out like she did on this leaf, all right? Now, in terms of humidity, this is another thing. This is a rainforest plant, you all. So, they both are technically, but this girl right here, this is a rainforest plant. You see these type of leaves, they really give anthurium-esque type leaf, right? With it being very velvety and all that stuff. Rainforest. You think rainforest. This is what you're going to see in the rainforest. So the humidity level for this plant has to be high, you guys. So we're talking about anything over maybe 65%, 60, 65, even 70%. This plant is going to thrive. So if you have a cabinet that you can put this in, like a big cabinet that you can put this in because it's going to grow, do it or get a humidifier. So I got this plant right next to a humidifier, and so she seems to respond really well. I actually have a what else do I have? A magnificum, I think. What is this one here? You know me, I don't have my glasses on. This is a majestic, you guys, not a magnificum. This one's doing a lot better. This was on the struggle bus too. So again, I'm beginning to get to know exactly who they are. Thank God. All right, you guys. So now let's talk about lighting. All right. So let's go. Come on. We're going to go with the easy plant first. Lighting, they can both thrive with bright light. Okay. Bright light. Fine. That's what they need, right? They need bright indirect light. But this one, okay, she can use medium light and still thrive, you guys. So like literally you don't have to have her by a window. You don't have to have her under a grow light. You can have her in a darker space in your house, and she will still be able to throw out leaves on a consistent basis, and the leaves still be a dark, dark blood orange color when it comes and unfurls. The leaves are going to remain glossy and green when they mature, and she's going to be just fine. Now, this diva, on the other hand, this diva needs bright light, you guys. She needs bright, indirect light. And if the chick don't get it, what she gonna show out? She, like I said, she's gonna let you know. She's gonna slow down her growth, which is exactly what she's been doing with me because I don't have her in the window. I have her maybe about 6 feet away from the window. She's not having it, so she's slowing down her growth, and she's gonna push out smaller leaves. Okay, so you know these leaves are okay. I mean, I got these leaves, these leaves were here when she was in a plant nursery. But then look at this little one that came out just a few weeks ago. It's not as big as I would like, and I'm gonna have to extend her. I'm gonna have to make a video about how to make one of these things pretty soon because I'm gonna have to extend the height and get her to grow a little bit higher so that she looks like my Marble Queen Cleopatra one day. All right. But at the end of the day, we're talking about light. This one, not so much. This bee right here needs a lot of it. So look, y'all, at the end of the day, these are two philodendrons that sort of span the spectrum of beginner friendly and sort of like more intermediate advanced. All right. So as you can see, I got beginner friendly down pat. So I'm good with that, and I'm growing into a more intermediate and advanced plant parent. I love the journey that I'm on because the reward will be when this girl finally gets her act together and she shows out. You know what I'm saying? And best believe that I'm gonna come at y'all with a video on that because I'm gonna be proud of number one, her accomplishment, and then at the end of the day, my own. Okay, because it's all about growth for me. So look, here's the deal. You know how we do. You come for the plants, you stay for the vibes, right? So let's talk about growth, you guys. We as human beings have to be stretched with hardships sometimes in order for us to grow, okay? In order for us to learn a little bit more about ourselves, about our capacity, right? About our perseverance, our determination, and our resilience. Like how much um, uh, uh, how much what's the word that I'm looking for? How much drive do we have to push forward and continually push forward through the hardships that we have? That teaches us growth, okay, about ourselves. It teaches us even patience, because when you're going through hard times, when you're trying to grow, you gotta be patient. Now, look, I was trying to be patient for a long time because I wanted to be 6 feet. That shit never happened, okay? And I had to let that ship sail and be happy with my little 5'8" self. But at the end of the day, I had to come to terms with the limit of my growth, physically. But in terms of the limit of my growth mentally and emotionally, that sky's the limit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't stop growing there. You continually learn more and more about yourselves as you get older. This hobby right here was actually a hobby that I discovered about myself in my I ain't even gonna go there. But shoot, I don't care. In my 40s. Okay? So at the end of the day, you guys, you're gonna discover more and more about yourselves. So don't give up. Okay? Take the good with the bad. Celebrate the good. Try to fix the bad. Okay? But take this opportunity on this planet to grow, to learn. This is part of your experience here on earth is to learn about yourselves, right? It's about the why. Okay? You're powerless without the answer to your why. Why am I doing this? Why am I sharing this with you all? Number one is because it's showing me that I can do it, you guys. There was a time in my life where I was afraid to speak to people. I remember as soon as 3 years ago, my day job, it's a job that I have to present to other people. I have to show them value and the product that I'm selling. And that's not easy. I was tongue-tied in the beginning, and even when I was started this channel, searching for words, and I still do that, and it's all good. But I was so insecure about doing this thing. But at the end of the day, after over a year of doing this plant channel, I grew. Okay, I grew not only in my plant knowledge, but I also grew in my self confidence. I grew in my self worth. I grew in sort of interacting with people and, hearing the great comments, the good comments that you guys leave, and the not so good comments and the bad comments that I gotta get in somebody's ass. But at the end of the day, listen, it's all about growth, and I'm here for it, and I hope you are too. So, listen, what do in this channel? We love ourselves, right? That's what we do. That's what we're all about. So I want to leave you guys with that. Please continue to take that love affair journey with yourself, you guys, and grow through it. All right. I love y'all for watching. I will see you in the next video. And yeah, stay up.